a continuation from the last time what we speak, and a quick reminder of what happened last time, and we're going to continue to build a little over it, inshallah. So if you remember last time when I was standing here, I think a few weeks ago, we talked about praying and maybe some common mistakes, and when we're rushing to come in to join the prayer, and we talk about the jama'ah prayer right here. And we started by talking about that you're coming in late and you should not be running, but you should be walking. And then we talked about while you're standing after the imam already started the prayer, we talked about if the imam is making a ruku', so you're approaching the masjid, you're entering the masjid, while the imam is in the ruku' position, how many takbirah that you need to make to enter the prayer. And we remember it was actually 2 takbirah. The first one is to enter the prayer, and the second one is to move from the standing position to the ruku' position, right? So don't skip one of the two. And we also talked about if you're in the ruku' position, what you're looking for is, you're always looking where you're actually making sujood, and you're trying to maintain that 90-degree angle, as if you have a cup of water in the top of your back while you're performing ruku', the cup of water is not going to spill because you're a little up too high, or the cup of water is also not going to spill because you're a little far too low, putting your head too far down. And we talked about in the sujood position that it should be 7, sometimes people will count them as 8 points that should be in contact of the carpet or of the floor that you're actually praying on. And we talked about those 7 or 8 points is your 2 hands quickly, and your 2 knee caps, and your toes, the inside part of your toes. That means your foot isn't actually almost in a standing, not a folding position, but a standing position. And the 1 or the 2 points, you can consider this area 1 part, or you can consider it 2, which is your forehead, and your nose is also should be in the ground. And sujood is important because if you mess up your sujood, you could mess up your prayer. And we also talked about that if you in the row or in the back lines, you need to make sure that your awrah, your non-parts that should not be exposed, it should not be exposed. If you're in the back and the front, it doesn't really matter, because the awrah for you as a man is from your belly button to your knee. So just in case if I have a pants that is a little tight, and I'm just going to be comfortable talking about this, I don't want to be showing my lower back, I don't want to be showing my other stuff exposed in it, so you are going to cover your awrah. If you're wearing a jilbab, a dress, you get yourself covered. Alhamdulillah, that's a given. But if you're wearing pants like me, well, maybe those pants, are a little short or a little tight. Just to continue in this talk, that today we're going to continue in that part, and just to remind ourselves. So there's another golden rule that we forgot to mention last time is لا تسبقوا الإمام ولا تساووه. Means you're not going to be ahead of the imam who's leading the prayer, right? In any action that you're performing, and ولا تساووه, and you're not even equal to that imam. So this is a job, this is a task that requires you to be in peace. And if you think about it for a second, you in peace while you're praying. So the imam, when he's saying Allahu Akbar, some of us, the minute that you listen to the first part of that takbir, the minute that you listening to Allah, you're already performing the task. Whatever the task that's involving in a takbir. For example, if the imam finishing up reading the Fatiha, finishing up reading the smaller surah, or the recitation that he's continuing to finish up reading, and he's saying Allahu Akbar, and he's moving from the standing position to the ruku' position, you're already performing ruku' just by listening to Allah. Wait till that command order is completely done before you move to the next step. In a meaning, wait till this Allahu Akbar is completely finished, and then move on to the next step. Don't rush to it. You, in peace, you are in a relationship praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are in the most peaceful time that you actually are in the middle of the day, right? Or in the beginning of the day, or in any time of the 5 prayers. So keep that part of mind. Because you don't want to be ahead of the Imam at any time. Right? Here's a scenario here, and I'm going to ask you. So that's a quiz. So you're approaching the masjid, you're just getting in the masjid, and the Imam is already past the ruku' part. He is in the sujood position. So everyone is in the sujood position. You're about to start the prayer because you're coming in a little late, right? So now you're joining the prayer. You did your first takbirah. You did your second takbirah. The question is, some of us will not join the prayer right away. Do you notice that? So some of us will come in and I see the Imam is, and everyone is doing sujood. And I'm going to say, I'm going to be standing and waiting till they actually stand up, right? Because this is not going to count as rak'ah for me, because they already passed the ruku' part. So which one is better? Do you join right away and perform that sujood, although it's not going to count? Again, it's not going to count as a rak'ah that you already missed. Or you wait, you stand, and wait till they actually stand up, and then you join them. You join them right away. If Allah is giving you a chance for one sujood, would you take it? So keep the part in mind. If you have a chance to join, you join up right away. Let's talk about sunnah. So you finish up your actual mandatory farida prayer, and it happened to be a sunnah after the prayer. This doesn't apply to Fajr, but let's just say it will apply to Dhuhr, because you're praying sunnah after Zuhr. It will apply to Maghrib, it will apply to Isha. What is your duty as a person? You're praying sunnah alone, so there is no imam and ma'moom in this scenario, right? What is your duty to do when you're actually praying sunnah if you decided to pray it in the masjid? Well, there's double duties here. There's a duty on you as the person who's praying sunnah, and there's a duty on the person who is done praying his sunnah and about to depart, about to leave the masjid. And what I'm talking about is takhatti riqab, meaning that you are crossing in the front of a person who happened to be praying sunnah. Are we allowed to cross in people in the front of them while they're praying? No, we shouldn't be crossing in people. But at the same time, there's a duty on you. You want to take some certain measures. And those measures that could be taken, if you happen to be praying in that first line right there, the people in the first line, mashallah, that they get a good reward, where do you want to be praying your sunnah? Take a step forward. And you already have a barrier, you already have a cover right in front of you. That wall right here. Would I go all the way back near the sisters? Not because I'm going back near the sisters, but do I go all the way back in that last line and decide to perform sunnah? I shouldn't. Why I shouldn't? Because there is no barrier in the front of me. Because if one of those people in the front, they already done from their sunnah prayer, and they would like to leave, they would like to depart the masjid, they finish up alhamdulillah their fard, they finish up alhamdulillah their sunnah, and there they are on their way out. What they're going to be exposed to now? Oh, I'm going to have to leave to the back. How far that you want them to go in the back? So keep your sunnah with a cover in the front of you. That cover could be that wall. That cover could be another body, another brother that was actually praying. Time it right. Am I about to start my sunnah? This brother is just started his sunnah, so we can actually finish. Or he's actually in a seating position, finishing up his tashahhud, and he's about to finish up his sunnah. So if I actually start behind him, he might be leaving right away, and I'm not blocked. So think about that part, at the same time. Related to the prayer and related, go ahead. You should have a sutra, but that sutra, if you go to some masajid, some people make that little piece of wood that you'll see, a little tiny piece of wood that they actually put it. You want to take that extra protection, but that sutra could be a human sutra.
But we should always have it in front when we pray.
You should try to get a cover, correct? A sutra in front of you while you pray. hint, hint, don't go all the way in the back and start praying, because that means you eliminating your sutra in that case, and you forcing me or someone else, if they already done praying while they're leaving, to cross in the front of you. So you gotta take that, that efforts, inshallah, just to be protected. Related to the same topic is adhan, right? So I'm entering the masjid. Think about this for a second. And you're entering the masjid, and the mu'adhin is calling the adhan. He's calling the prayer call. And what is the adhan? Adhan is a prayer call. He's actually making the announcement for the adhan. What do? Do you sit down right away during the adhan? Do you get in the masjid and I'm about to perform my sunnah or my tahiyyat masjid? You think about it from this for a second, and this is not a quiz, we're just talking about it. You coming in here with an intention of what? You want to maximize your effort. I come in here and I'm hungry. Why I'm hungry? I'm not really hungry for food, but I'm hungry to collect. I'm collecting. I'm in a collecting mood when I'm coming to the masjid. And what I'm talking about here, just to explain it to you, I want to collect as many hasanat. I want to fill my pockets, right? So I'm coming in here with that good intention, right? I'm coming in here because I know that there is an extra 27 credit if I'm actually performing a group, a jama'ah prayer, right? But what is the secret behind coming to the masjid? Is my job is just to come here and leave? Or my job is to come here and I want to hit every single sunnah? I want to get that performance to, inshallah, the closest to perfection that I can, right? So I want to keep collecting. So a part of your sunnah is what you say after you finish the mandatory prayer, right? And a part of your sunnah is praying, performing actually the prayer of sunnah, right? And a part of your sunnah is when you get to the masjid, what to say. Which foot that you actually enter the masjid with. And a part of your sunnah is when you leave the masjid, what to say. Which foot when you actually depart the masjid of. All of this are part of the sunnah. Again, you're maximizing your efforts, right? So I'm coming in here and the adhan is being called. Shall I stand and repeat the adhan and get the benefits of repeating the adhan? Yes, I should. Or shall I start the sunnah? Well, I have time to do both. So why not doing both? Just that, keep that part in your mind at the same time. So this is not a fault area. So this is not like, hey, if I sit down that I'm at fault. But this is, I'm hungry and I would like to collect more from my benefits area. So if the adhan is being called and you're walking into the masjid, alhamdulillah, continue your standing, keep repeating, because that's a sunnah, to repeat after the mu'adhin what the mu'adhin is saying, with the exception when you say hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, hayya ala falah, you're saying la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Make that dua that you actually know after the adhan to get to maximize the benefits of your adhan and if your sunnah, and you're grabbing your hasanat and filling up your pockets with good deeds at the same time, because you're living in two theories, right? First one is لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا. Don't underestimate any good deed that you do. And with that mentality, I'm not going to underestimate that Assalamu alaikum that I say to the brother, because I know it's a sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ say afshu salam, so that I'm going to spread that salam and I'm making good deeds in that. So don't underestimate any good deeds that you come in here. And I don't get to see or to say Assalamu alaikum if I'm not coming to a congregation prayer, to the masjid, to a group prayer. Because I don't see people if I'm praying solo at home. If I'm praying alone at home, I don't see anybody. But mine as well, if I'm coming in here, I'm going to say Assalamu alaikum to brother. I'm going to give a handshake. I'm going to give a hug to somebody. This is what the jama'ah is all about. So keep that part in mind. And after لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا, there's another saying, and it's a little more Egyptian. It's got nothing to do with anything. Is لعلها تكون المنجية. You know, maybe that this last action that could be a little small, the word of Assalamu alaikum, the little repeating of the azan, the one that will save me. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Go ahead, brother.
I know I go to somebody I'm asking that it is. Do we have to, do we pray, heal it like this together? Or?
Yes, we're playing shoulder to shoulder, heel to heel. The pandemic restrictions, alhamdulillah, at least for now, as far as I know, are over. So we're back to normal. And there's a lot of love in this, and since you mentioned that part, we're closing the gap, we're straightening up our lines. And where do you start? Where do you start the line since you mentioned that part? You try to cover the imam. So imam is right here in the middle. And this line, when you see it completely covered, try to cover that imam first. So when you're coming in from the outside, the first line is complete. The second line, you want to start. Try to come behind the imam and let that line start and let that line spread from the right side, from the left side at the same time. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة
Give him a handshake.